In today's show, we look ahead to Monday in the NBA, who we can stream in, what we're watching for, all of that stuff. Michael Bolton.
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy Basketball, your daily fantasy basketball podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd and I am the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com. And you can find me on Twitter, as always, at redrock_bball, on TikTok at redrock_bball, and on Instagram at Locked On Fantasy Basketball. Today's episode, it's brought to you by PrizePicks. First-time users can receive a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON. That's prizepicks.com and the promo code is LOCKEDON. Thank you for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free and available on all platforms. All right, we're going to talk about Monday. I talked about it in the waiver wire show earlier today. It is gaining steam to me. We know the Blazers are done. Sean T. Billups tells us they're not done. They're day-to-day. My ass. They're done. Kuzma and Beal, it very much feels like they're done as well from the comments from the Wizards today. Just that came through now. If I just have a look, if I can find those quotes. Before I start lying. Wes Unseld hopes that they return this year. All right, cool. And Kuzma's ankle's still really swollen. They're not coming back. I'm pretty confident. I don't know this, but I'm pretty confident that those guys are done for the season. So just so you're aware of that. So that means, and Monte Morris got to be endowed as well. So your Kuzma's, your Kispert's, Avdiya's, Delon Wright's all getting some pretty big boosts there. Dan Gafford as well. And I imagine Porzingis might follow suit a little bit later on. But Beal and Kuzma feel like they are done for the year. Just a quick update on that, along with the Blazers guys, of course. Let's look at the games. There are 8 of them on Monday.
Let's get it on, Gilly.
All right, the first game we look at, the Mavs and the Pacers. This is a back-to-back for Dallas. They got humbled, lost their second consecutive game against the Hornets. Is it Kyrie? No. Is it Jason Kidd? Yes. I mean, is it a factor of Kyrie and Jason Kidd together in a poorly constructed roster? Absolutely 100% yes, all of that stuff. And now they come into this game on a back-to-back against the Pacers without Luka Doncic because he's been suspended. I'm not absolving him of blame. He's to blame for some of this stuff as well. They are teetering. They are on the way out of the play-in. They are not in the play-in at the moment. They're going to miss out. It feels. I don't know. Doncic out, though. Chris Duarte's out. I reckon his season might be cooked. And interestingly, after missing the last game, which I thought he would due to a back-to-back, Miles Turner, he's back on the injury report questionable. I worry that he might be done. I'm not sure about that one. And then, after playing the back-to-back, Tyrese Halliburton is on the injury report for Monday, questionable with an ankle issue. I don't know if they're done, but I'm very, very quickly hovering on Isaiah Jackson and TJ McConnell as guys to add. For the Mavs side of things, well, we know their game didn't go particularly well on Sunday. I am very interested in Jaden Hardy. With Doncic out, he should get a larger load.
Giggity.
And he can be a really good scoring option. They played a lot of Tim Hardaway as well on Sunday. Josh Green moved back into the starting lineup, so they're just sort of trying to figure out something. But Hardy's at least going to get shots up. And without Luka, he's going to get more shots up. So he's a very interesting option there, I think, for us tomorrow, Jaden Hardy. For the Pacers, Jordan Nwora went off last game. Now, that's not expected. He's not going to score 33 a night. But his role is a little bit more interesting if, say, Turner is out, because it means that Smith plays exclusively at the 4, meaning Nwora can get minutes at the 3 and the 4, and there's no Duarte as well. He's at least in the mix as a points and threes streamer, while Isaiah Jackson, hopefully we can get Jackson locked in as the backup center, because as I said on the waiver wire show earlier today, if you start 2 games and have the backup as 7 or 8, that's enough for me for 12-team leagues. The problem is when you get 1-minute games and 0-minute games because they've decided Jalen Smith should be the backup. That's my problem. But I've got no problem at the moment of taking a flyer on Jackson. Turner questionable. Maybe he's the full-time permanent backup. Remember Daniel Tice? Lol. So I don't know exactly what they're going to do in that situation, but there is some interest happening over there. The Bucks and the Pistons is the next game we take a look at. Bogdanovic and Alec Burks are out. No shock there. I don't know why they won't just tell us that they're out for the season, but that's the case. Interestingly, they upgraded Rodney McGruder to questionable. Why? I have no idea. Him and Corey Joseph are both questionable, putting a little bit more of a question mark. That means what questionable means, into what the hell happens with that rotation and Livers and Amarui in particular. Surely there's no need to prioritize Magruder. But, it's Dwayne Casey. Who knows what's going on? For the Milwaukee Bucks, Bobby Portis is one to watch because he's been getting 25 a night with Jay Crowder out. But we've seen the pattern that when Giannis, Middleton, Brook, and Crowder all play, Portis gets 19 minutes. He's played 33, 24, 25, 22, 25 the last 5 games. And in those games, Lopez was out, Crowder was out, and Middleton was out. And if they're fully healthy, he plays 19 or 20. So 19 or 20 Bobby's not enough. Oh, as you can see, I probably should have mentioned this earlier on the game before. Actually, let's just flick back across so I can show you this because I didn't mention it for the audio people. The Mavs play Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday this week. All right? So they've got the Saturday low volume day and Monday, so that's interesting. The Pacers play the schedule that basically every team plays. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. 1 low volume game on Monday, 10 Wednesday, 13 Friday, 13 Sunday. So a stinking schedule. And nearly every team seems to have that schedule. Back to Bucks Pistons. You'll notice the Pistons have the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday schedule. Friday, Sunday, 13 game days. Now, some of these guys, like Killian Hayes or even Marvin Bagley, they're probably good enough to start on those days given the absences on that team. Jaden Ivey, Livers, these sort of players. Duran's probably good enough to start, but you never know with the Wiseman situation. I wouldn't start Wiseman. There's some interesting situations on those days. The Bucks, they do have a low volume chucked in there. They play Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday. So they get the Monday and the Thursday. They get the 3 games in 4 nights to start the week there. So Grayson Allen, been an interesting 3-point streamer all season, gets a real boost here. 3 games to start the week, a 2-game day on Thursday, a chance that Middleton's going to sit one of those 2 games. Really interesting opportunity to stream in Grayson Allen. For the Pistons, what I do want to watch is the passport legend Jalen Duren. I want to see how many minutes they give him. I want to see if they continue this asinine decision to bring him off the bench and limit him behind James Wiseman. It's stupid. It's dumb. We'll see what they do. I think Duren's got actual all-star upside, and I'd love to see them give him a little bit more playing time. I also want to watch Isaiah Livers, who probably isn't a 12-team league guy, but might be. Their schedule doesn't make it perfect to stream him in, and the Magruder questionable tag makes it a little bit iffy as well. But how they use him and what his playing time and shot distribution looks like as opposed to a Bagley and Ivy, and even if they chuck Magruder in there, will be something for us to monitor. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks is daily fantasy, but it's not daily fantasy with salary caps. It's not thousands of people in tournaments with spreadsheets and algorithms. It's you, one-on-one versus player projections. All you do is look at the player projections. Maybe it's Rodney Magruder, 5.5 points. And you go, maybe this is the night that Magruder goes off again. So we go over. And you get 2 to 6 of those individual player projections. You put them into a lineup, and bang, you can win up to 25 times your entry fee back. It's not just that it's basketball, which we love. We can do multiple sports. We'll get to that in a second because I jumped the gun. What you can do is you can do your entries really safe and fast, under 60 seconds. You can do it in over 30 US states, and you can do it for multiple sports like Major League Baseball starting Thursday, the NHL, college basketball still going on, men's and women's, European basketball, cricket, NASCAR, golf, boxing, MMA, and of course, disc golf. So download the PrizePicks app or go to prizepicks.com to sign up and play daily fantasy sports. First-time users get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with the promo code LOCKEDON. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks will give you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks will give you $50. Don't forget to enter the promo code LOCKEDON at sign up for an instant deposit match up to $100. Rockets and Knicks is the next game for us to take a look at. This is a back-to-back for Houston. They're playing on Sunday. They go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, the same usual schedule. And look at that, the Knicks, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Nearly every team does this. It's pretty frustrating. No one is ruled out at this point. We know that the Wild Thing, Jayshawn Tate, is out of Sunday's action.
Even the Wild Thing's gone well. I can't do much about that.
So is this a Tate shutdown? Is it him being out because it's the first game of a back-to-back? He sat the second game of a back-to-back last Monday. Then he sat Wednesday, not a back-to-back. Friday, not a back-to-back. And now he's out Sunday. I feel like he's done, but I don't know. They won't confirm it because teams are dickheads. On the Knicks side of things, Jalen Brunson is questionable, and that impacts quite a bit. It impacts the value of Quickly. It impacts the value of old mate Quentin Grimes.
This briefcase and this haircut.
It even impacts deeper leagues for someone like a Juice McBride.
I am going to drop a deuce on everybody.
I want to watch RJ Barrett because we know he's prone to stinking, and I'm not changing my opinion on him unless I see 82 games of him being good. But he does get extra minutes if Brunson's out. I also want to watch the Mitch Robinson, Isaiah Hartenstein situation because it looked like a minute split until last game where Robinson played 30 and Hartenstein played 18. 18 for Hartenstein is not enough. I need 23. So let's see what they end up deciding to do there. Suns and the Jazz. They go both teams Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, as everyone does, apparently. Durant is out, but he is likely to return on Wednesday. As for the Jazz, no confirmation yet, but I do not expect Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton, or Jordan Clarkson to play. I don't know that, but I don't expect for those guys to play. On the Suns side of things, I do want to watch Tony Warren because his minutes have pushed up. It's been at the expense of Josh Okogie. Warren has played 20, 29, and 27 in the last 3 games. I don't really think that lasts when Durant returns, but you compare that to Craig playing 19 minutes last game, Okogie going 20, 21, and 25 the last 3 games. Warren seems to be a little bit more flavor of the week here for Monty Williams. So he's at least in the mix as a point streamer. The other guy who's gone from 11, 16, 16, 12 minutes to 27 and 23 minutes is old Terry Ross. So they're sort of just trying to figure out what to do. What do we do with Okogie, Craig, Ross, Warren? And you've seen the last 2 games, they have lent more into offense with Warren and Ross versus defense with Okogie and Craig. Big change up in what they were doing. They were going minutes with Wainwright, Okogie, and Craig a lot. Wainwright's taken out of the rotation basically now, and they're going with more offense. Now, I think the more offense could be because DeAndre Ayton was out, and they were playing a no-offense center in Biyombo. And you don't want Biyombo, Okogie, and Craig getting tons of minutes because there's no offense out of any of those guys. So pushing more Warren and Ross into that situation helps. So if Ayton plays, and he's questionable in this game, if Ayton plays, does that mean they go back more to Okogie and Craig and Wainwright and limit the offensive-only players like Shamet and Ross and Warren? I think it's a possibility. We've got to pay attention to it. But if Ayton's out, then Warren and Ross become stream options, I think. For the Jazz, I do want to watch Ochai Agbaji, who I do think is going to play 30-plus minutes every single night because they will find a way to get a starter out. That has been my theory for the last 2-3 weeks, and I'm sticking with that. And he gets more usage with Markkanen out, making him a stream option. He's not a particularly strong fantasy player across the board, but he is a better option when Markkanen is out. I also want to watch Simone Fontecchio because 33, 20, 25, 29 minutes. He's like a 30-minute, 27, 30-minute night play when Markkanen sits. And that's enough, at least in like a 14-team league, to get a few shots up. Hopefully he hits his threes at better than 20%, but he's at least getting some volume in. And as you know, under different context, but the value is in the volume. The Sixers and the Nuggets. You're going to be shocked to know that the Sixers go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. The Nuggets, a little bit different. Monday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. So they have the 2 quality games this week versus the Sixers with 1. We know that old mate Colin Gillespie, I think we're running out of time for him to see some NBA action. He's out for this game with that broken leg, while the actually they've just put Maga Porter Jr. on the injury report as questionable due to rest. Are they left heel injury management? Are they punting this game? Very interesting. And then we go to the Philadelphia 76ers side of things. Jim Harden has missed the last 3 games with this Achilles issue. We don't know whether he is going to be available to play. That's the big one there. The other one is Daniel House Jr., who is dealing with being Daniel House Jr., but also had a shoulder injury. So Harden's the big one there. On the Sixers side of things, we want to see DeAnthony Melton because last game he played 24, only 24, even with Harden out. He'd been getting 30-plus a night for 4 consecutive games. So the minutes doubt remains or returns. And then with him, we don't really know where Melton goes. I still prioritize him. But Shake Milton, whose minutes had dropped way off, they pushed back up to over 20 in the last 2 games. And Shake at mid-20s minutes is somewhat of an option. Now, Doc Rivers real hard last game and decided we're not going to go with the good backup center. We're going to try the washed-up veteran in Dwayne Dedmon. Played him over Paul Reed, and it was a disastrous decision. I have no idea why Doc does this. He does it continually. He finally broke his Montrezl Harrell addiction. And then Daryl Morey, don't know what you're doing. Why are you giving him washed-up veterans? Because you know he's going to play them. And that happened. So deeper leagues who have been relying upon 10 minutes or so of Paul Reed, I don't know what we're going to get here. Is he going to be playing third string behind literally the washed-up carcass of Dwayne Dedmon? I don't know, and I can't explain it. For the Nuggets, I do want to watch Bruce Brown, who's sort of pushing up from 24 minutes to 27, 28. The elimination of Reggie Jackson out of the rotation is helping him. So he's getting a bit more playing time. I also want to watch Aaron Gordon because he hasn't played well. He's been really struggling. Now, they do have this interesting schedule where they play Thursday, and not only 4 teams play on Thursday. So holding him through that makes a little bit of sense. But then they go Friday, Sunday to end the week where there are 13 games on, and I'm not sure that Gordon is going to remain a rosterable player, but we'll see what he's able to do in this situation. The next game we take a look at is the Pelicans and the Blazers. This is a back-to-back for Portland, and Chauncey Billups is out here blowing smoke up our ass. Oh, they actually haven't been shut down, guys. They're actually just day-to-day. We're going to take it really, really careful. My guy, they're done. Anyway, unless something wild happens, we are not seeing Grant, Simons, Lillard, and Nurkic again. We could, but I do not believe we are. The Pelicans have no Jose Alvarado. There's no Zion Williamson either.
I'm the biggest bird. I'm the biggest bird.
Now, as I've mentioned a million times this week, not a million, but that's hyperbolic, you know what I mean, that the Pelicans have the best schedule this week. All 4 of their games are on low-volume days. No other team plays more than 2 quality games. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. The Blazers go the stock standard Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So, we really want to see Josh Richardson and Najee Marshall because, along with Larry Nance, they're probably the most available players, Herb Jones as well, most available players who you can add, and you're going to use them guaranteed 4 times this week. You are going to use them 4 times this week. And versus like, say, a Bruce Brown from the Nuggets who you might use twice, and you probably wouldn't use him Friday, Sunday, is Richardson, who's a worse player than Brown, but double the quality games. That does change things. Same with Marshall, same with Nance, who's getting really low minutes at the moment, so maybe he's not the best example. But, yeah, 16 minutes of Nance times 4, 64 minutes. You're not going to find many players getting 32 minutes who play 2 quality games this week. There's not many of those guys around. So just value is in the volume. Today's episode is brought to you by Built Bar. Built Bar is the best tasting protein bar ever, and now it's Built March Madness. So go to builtmarchmadness.com and you can vote for your favorite Built Bar or Built Puff flavor. I'm going to vote for cookies and cream. You can go vote every single day to get your favorite flavor over the line in the bracket matchups. But also, we've got a great offer because if you go and vote, you get entered into a draw. 50 Locked On listeners will win a box of Built Bars, and one lucky Locked On listener will win a 12-month subscription to Built, where you get a box of Built Bars sent to your house every day. What more could you ask for? Because it's already the best tasting protein bar ever. It's already covered in 100% real chocolate. It's already high in protein with low calorie and low sugar, and now you got a chance to get them for free. Oh my God, it's amazing. So go to builtmarchmadness.com, put your votes in, do it every day. You can also pick up a box while you're there, so you don't have to wait until you win. You just get that box delivered to you. But you can go in and do those votes every day and get yourself in those draws to win delicious boxes of Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. Built Bar is built different. The next game up, we're looking at the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Sacramento Kings. This is a back-to-back for Minnesota. And at the time of me recording this, I do not know the status of Anthony Edwards or Karl Anthony Towns for Sunday's game. If Towns is out on Sunday, he will play on Monday is my guess. If Edwards is out, which they're listing Edwards as an illness now, so it makes me think his ankle's fine. If Edwards missed Sunday, then he'll be fine Monday. If they both play on Sunday, Edwards and Towns, I think Edwards is a chance to play the both games, but Towns won't play Monday, is my guess. On the Kings, or Jalen Noel also questionable, who minutes are well down for him. He might not even play even if he is healthy, but he is questionable. He has played the last 2 games through questionable tag, 20 minutes one game, 8 in the other, and that was with Towns back. And if Towns and Edwards both play, he's no guarantee to play. On the Sacramento side of things, well, it's all really about De'Aaron Fox. He hurt his hamstring on Friday, and then the reports, always the way it comes out, the reports are always like, oh no, he actually told us he was fine to come back in. So he's fine, he's ready to come in. And shockingly, he didn't play on Saturday. What a surprise that is. A bloke pings a hammy, tells me, no, I'm fine, coach, put me back in, and then sits out the next game. Because a hamstring should be sat for a minimum of 10 days. They won't do it, but it should be sat for that long. At least they sat him on Saturday. I don't know whether he plays. The NBA has a history of pushing guys. He's already had multiple hamstring sort of issues this season. Hasn't cost him much time, but he's had a few, my hamstring's tight. Like, sit down. Sit down. I hope they don't play him just because I don't want him to actually ping a hammy and miss 6 weeks and miss the playoffs. Sit down. So we want to watch what Davion Mitchell's role is. Mitchell played 30 minutes last game. He'll probably play that again. He had good steals, good assists. He's not going to be a great scoring option, but he's at least streamable. While Fanderpants Kevin Huerter came back and played an irresponsible 70 minutes across a back-to-back, coming back from his own popliteus strain, which is basically like a hamstring. It's a muscle at the back of the knee, close enough to a hamstring. He had missed 3 games prior to that, so he gave some healing time. His value has been very much a roller coaster all season, and it was down before he got hurt. But the last 2 games have been amazing. If Fox is out, he gets a little bit more usage. I'm not that interested in Malik Monk. He has really sort of created. He's fine to try, but reliable? Absolutely not. Bulls and Clippers. This is a back-to-back for Chicago. Javonte Green, I didn't think that he would return this season. He came back. He played 13 minutes in 2 games and he's ruled out again. Why? Why did he come back? Anyway, so he's out. We saw that Vooch got ejected on Sunday. I don't think there'll be any problem with him playing. DeRozan and Caruso both played on Sunday. I think you might see them on the injury report. I'm not certain about that. But at this point, we think they're going to play. The Bulls go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday like everybody else. While the Clippers got a little bit of a different schedule, Monday, Wednesday, and then a Friday, Saturday back-to-back. So they have the quality game on Saturday, but it's a back-to-back. So we fingers crossed ourselves that Kawhi Leonard will play. We know Paul George will be out. Norman Powell will be out as well. Now, as for Kawhi, he copped a whack in the head last game. He's got a facial contusion is their official diagnosis. He said he had a bit of a headache, which makes us give a little bit of concussion alarm bells. I don't think there's any problem there, but I'm going to list him questionable for this game here on Monday against the Bulls, while BJ Boston's still dealing with that tailbone injury. On the Clippers side of things, with Powell out, with George out, and blowouts and injuries and whatever happened, we've seen 26 and 24 minutes in the last 2 games from Bones Highland. Again, one of those games, Terrence Mann played only 20 minutes. The other one was, both of these games have been 20-point blowouts, so Bones is getting extra minutes there. Don't expect 24 a night from the big stiffy, but we can get some value out of him, especially if Kawhi is out. If Kawhi is out also, we lean more into Eric Gordon and into Terrence Mann, who's 2 games, 27 in the first game without Paul George, and then he got hurt himself with a knee issue on Saturday, but was able to return, but that cut his playing time down to 20. So we still don't really know his role, because one was a blowout and he played 27 and then he got hurt. Is he a 30-minute guy, a 25-minute guy, a 28-minute guy? I don't know. So even though we've played 2 games without Paul George, I don't really think we know how everything's going to play out. We still don't know. Some injury replacement streamers. If Halliburton is out, we go to McConnell, obviously, then Nembhard. If Miles Turner is out, I go to Isaiah Jackson and then Jalen Smith. If Brunson is out, we go to Quickly and then we go to Grimes. If Ayton is out, we go to Biyombo. Easy straight switch there. If Harden is out, Melton, then Milton would be my priority. If Anthony Edwards is out, it's going to be Kyle Anderson, who's still available in 41% of leagues. Maybe we go to Prince or Noel. And if Towns is out, we go to Anderson and then the Wizard of Nas Reed. If De'Aaron Fox is out, we go to Davion Mitchell pretty clearly there. Herder, obviously, if he's around as well. If Kawhi is out, then we just boost the value of Mann and we boost the value of Bones Highland and Eric Gordon in that situation. And Rob Covington moves into the mix if Kawhi happens to be out. The only team with a Monday, Tuesday back-to-back is the Pelicans. We've talked about how good their schedule is already. In terms of streaming in for Monday, a lot of Blazers guys here, even though Billups is claiming that these other players aren't out. So we look at Eubanks, Watford, and Sharp. We look at KCP in Denver. We look at Marvin Bagley, who I do think he's going to be a really solid ad here. Now, you know my issues with Bagley as a player. Even as a fantasy guy, you're going to have games with no assists, no threes, no steals, no blocks, bad free throws. It's going to happen. But he is going to rack up big points. He's going to rack up good rebounds, and you'll have nights where the other stuff does come. And I do think at this point he is a must-roster player. Even with the 4-game Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday schedule for the Pistons, I think Bagley will be startable on those 13-game days because of the role they are unfortunately giving to him. That makes him useful. Chris Dunn is a good stream as well, along with Taylor Horton-Tucker, because I don't expect Sexton or Clarkson to play. If Sexton or Clarkson do both play, Dunn literally might play 0 minutes. It is a risk, because he would be the fourth guard, maybe 5th guard. That is a risk. But I don't think they're going to play, so we go with Dunn. Nas Reed, if Towns is out, we really, really like Reed as an option. We'll get an opportunity to see what happens if Towns plays on Sunday with Reed's minutes, but I think he's a good option. And then Killian Hayes. The same as what I said for Bagley. I think Hayes will be startable even on those 13-game days, because I think his role is relatively secure on this Pistons team, and he has an ability, a baseline assistance deals that you're going to get from him all the time. And then anything else you get on that is just extra. For deeper leagues, I am looking at Isaiah Livers. I'm looking at Keon Johnson in Portland as well. Torian Prince, Torrey Craig, and then the Torrey Craig could be Terrence Ross, could be TJ Warren as well, depending on the Ayton scenario. Jordan Nwora is an option for us in deeper leagues. Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber should get a little bit of extra touches without Luka. Not that they're super excited. Throw Jaden Hardy in this mix as well. And then Simone Fontecchio. Jaden Hardy's actually a 12-team stream too, sorry. With Luka out, you can stream in Jaden Hardy. And then Fontecchio for deeper leagues also. For points leagues, these guys all available in 40% plus of leagues. Kyle Anderson, Marvin Bagley, again. Shaden Sharp, Horton Tucker, Trendon Watford, Drew Eubanks, Chris Dunn, and Killian Hayes. Quite a lot of streaming options there. Now, if we look at the next 4 nights, low volume stuff, we look at Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday as the low volume days. Wednesday, 10 games, probably a little bit too much, but some of you will be able to stream. If we're looking at just the low volume days, we're really looking at Josh Richardson with 3 games here, 3 low volumes. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope with 2, Bruce Brown with 2, Najee Marshall with 3, Grayson Allen with 2, Larry Nance with 3, and then we go down to the 1-game guys like Kyle Anderson and the guy in Charlotte, Mark Williams.
Oh, hi, Mark.
If we just look at the next 4 days in total, Grayson Allen and Josh Richardson have 3 games, a little bit of a boost there. You might be able to play Allen on the Wednesday. Have a look at that. Shaden Sharp's got 2. Kyle Anderson's got 2. Trenton Watford's got 2. Drew Eubanks has 2. Marvin Bagley has 2. And KCP has 2. So a little bit of a boost for those guys. Now, interestingly, if we look at the chunks of games coming up, there are quite a lot of games this week, but no teams, there's not many teams that have this really big squished in part of the schedule. It's very strange. And there are no games next Monday. NCAA tournament final is next Monday. 0 NBA games. All right? So 3 games in 4 nights, only 2 teams. The Pelicans and the Bucks. And the Pelicans, they're all low volumes. 4 games in 5 nights, nobody. 4 games in 6 nights, it's the Pelicans again with their 4 quality games. And it's the Clippers with a back-to-back. So we watch for that sit of Kawhi perhaps. No team plays 5 and 7. No team plays 5 and 8. Again, no games on Monday. And then after that Monday next week, I'm pretty sure things get wild with the schedule and the days are really jam-packed in. And that, guys, will do it for me today. Don't forget to follow this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and on the Odyssey app. And here on YouTube, thumb it up and leave your comments down below. Guys, we are done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. See ya.